Okay, well, this is a redo of a video that I put out without sound. Isn't that so appropriate? But anyway, I'll try to find the words that I expressed the first time. So there was some conflict or complaint about my compilation videos, my previews, and my intention with those videos are just to highlight the similarities and create a larger community of like-minded hobbyists that use the same platform, and there should be no animosity or any threat. No, I'm recording. So can you wait a minute, please? Good. Well, that's why I'm telling you. So anyway, yeah, it's all for the good of the community and to hopefully introduce others to the format of whoever I'm featuring and previewing. I try to do it all in fun, and I'm not trying to make any money. So anyway, I am sorry if I offended anyone or someone felt like I took advantage of them or stole from them. I suppose everyone has the right to their own opinion and their feelings, and I appreciate anybody who has given me feedback on this particular incident. But I'm going to continue to do these videos because I think they're important and they're fun, and it allows me to watch other videos that I normally wouldn't otherwise watch. Even people that I want to watch their videos, I just have so much other things that occupy me that I often don't get the chance to look at other people's videos. So that affords me that opportunity to look. So excuse the garbage disposal. It's one thing after another. But also, in the future, I appreciate it if you could just come to me and let me know if you are feeling slighted or taken advantage of. I'm open and everybody knows how to reach me. So really, that's all I wanted to say the first time, if you could not read my lips. Anyhow, hopefully you're hearing me now. Thanks for watching.
Hey, welcome back to My Life with Plants. I'm Newman. And it is growing in the forbidden sphagnum moss. Something else that's been doing really well is this one. You really need to take it down. Poking the camera around and there's just...
That plant he is referring to is Cattleya irricolor. Now, this is an article that I found online, and I think it's Carter and Holmes. And they're talking about how their opinion on fragrance, the most fragrantest, which is a debate everyone has, but as I would believe, and a lot of people would say, the Cattleya dowiana is one that is always mentioned for the longest time, as it says 20 years ago. And then it says all that changed when he discovered Irrecolor. Says it has 8 to 9 inch tall cattleya-like pseudobulbs with about a 12-inch top, 12-inch long single leaf at the top. Leaf is longer than in proportion to the size of the pseudobulb than other cattleya species, but except for the slight difference, it looks just like a normal everyday cattleya. You could easily pass by it unnoticed. When the plant flowers, however, the spidery 3-inch flowers will fill your greenhouse with an intense fragrance that may even perfume your house as well as if attached to the greenhouse, as mine is. Well, it says your home. The odor is so strong it may find its way to your neighbor's front door. Once in flower, it is impossible to ignore. And there's a picture of the flowers. They're unusual, but I won't go through all of that. Okay, so it says flower lasts in bloom only about 2.5 weeks, which may account for the strong fragrance, as it has to attract its pollinators as soon as possible before the flower dies. Of course, Cattleya irrecolor sends out a new growth in late autumn in the U.S. and produces a new pseudobulb during the winter months. As the pseudobulb matures, the flower spike emerges from the sheath, and the flowers open in late February or March. Irrecolor is an easy plant to grow, blah, blah, blah. Cattleya greenhouse temperatures of 48 to 60 as a low at night, and 85 degrees during the day. Needs lots of sun, moving air, and normal greenhouse humidity, whatever that is. It grows well in clay pots. And I'm not even going to discuss what it says is free flowering, because I have never seen a free flowering irrecolor from anyone, except for from professional nurseries such as Carter and Holmes, or wherever this is from. If grown really well, can produce up to 10 flowers on a spike. Grows naturally in Ecuador and Peru, whereas it's found naturally at high altitudes around 3,000 to 4,000 feet near the tops of tall trees, which puts it in my category as, I would say, a cool grower. And that's just talking about its discovery and, again, the fragrance. So let's talk about it in other terms.
You can see here that it's got that nice big root traveling down into the media. It has some nice big roots in there that are a little hard to see now just because it's moist. It grows in sphagnum. It's got a big open area at the bottom to let the air flow through. It's got nice sulcate bulbs. They're furrowed as they mature. That doesn't mean that it's underwater. That's just the natural way that they grow. And it has this new growth that I'm whizzing the camera over. It is maturing, and it has a new cane growing right there. So all is well with this Cattleya irrecolor. And the burning, these are burn marks on it because it took me a while to get the right amount of shade for it. It's another burn. However, it's put up with the heat. It's right up high on the wall of the balcony, and it does well. The bigger it gets, the stronger it gets. That's one thing I notice about orchids. The larger they are, the more they can put up with. They can be a little bit more sensitive when they're smaller, and that's why you will not see any miniatures growing up there. They can't handle it. So this plant I'm just bending the wire back up here.
Alright, here is my Cattleya irrecolor that I got. It had to be almost a year ago. Okay, it says August of 25 I repotted it. So it could have been earlier this summer. Anyway, it was putting up this new growth and this tall growth back here, which is continuing to develop. And I'm not about to peek inside those leaves to see what's going on. But this over here has matured, and this is November 2025. I really don't see much in the way of roots so as far as today, but I am pleased that the growths are growing upright. Cattleyas, especially species, have a tendency, as Newman said and agreed, that pseudobulbs have to remain plump, and it's nice if they grow upright towards the light. When they are desiccated or wrinkly, that's a sign that they need more moisture or probably humidity. It is easier to keep a bigger, mature, bloom-sized plant, previously bloom-sized plant, alive, and it is more resistant to pests and changes in temperature and repotting, things like that. So I do give it highlight, and I do have the ability to keep it with whatever good greenhouse humidity means. I would agree that it is near most impossible to grow cattleyas unless you can provide them with a consistent, well, that's most orchids. The winter is the detriment, and it does make it a lot easier that they do have that dormancy, or most of them do, but the humidity does not mean that goes away as well. You have to keep that, if not more, because in a lot of cases they are getting more sunlight in their rest phase, because they're generally either at the top of the trees, like this says, or most cattleyas are just underneath the foliage at the top of the trees, which means that in the winter there are no leaves. Generally they're in deciduous forests. So you get the drift. They get a little bit more light because the intensity in wintertime is less than it would be in the summer when they are in growth phase. But yeah, so I am hopefully gonna get this to bloom someday. This has previously put up a sheath, but that was a blind sheath, which is common. So fingers crossed on that one, most definitely. But very similar culture, just philosophies on what these plants need. Now later on in the same video, he talks about another species, even though he has the alba form, it's still the same plant, more or less, and I'm talking about Cattleya bowringiana.
Because it's putting out this new cane here. It's been growing up during the late summer, and then it matured, made a flower spike, and it just started flowering about a few days ago. Around about a few days ago. So they're all open now. Oh. Cattleya bowringiana is native to Guatemala. I think it's Guatemala or Belize. It's the most northerly growing of the cattleyas, or one of them. And it grows on, usually as a lithophyte, growing on rocks, on cliffs, or on flat on the bedrock. There's some vegetable matter or humus that's accumulated there. However, this one is growing in sphagnum moss with humus. It has a very vigorous root system, much more vigorous than most cattleyas. It pushes out a mass of roots. You can see here that those are the ones from the last bulb cane, and it's putting out this new cane, and soon, probably within the next few weeks, it'll be pushing roots out of there. So I got the repotting done at the right time, and it really needed repotting because it was coming out of the pot and it reached its limit by foliate. And this is as big as the last cane it put out. This is the one I had last year that it flowered. The only thing it doesn't have is fragrance.
Let me see. Over here is my Cattleya bowringiana, the Cerealia form, which has opened up its buds. This is the first time blooming for me. I got this last year. It was in bloom when I got it. Got some things. As he says in his video, and his is blooming. This is the species, the pure species, which is a darker color of lavender, lilac, whatever. Same lip though. The plant puts up its pseudobulb after its break in the winter. In the spring, I mean early spring, that's when you start to water it, when it gets maybe, I don't know, 2 feet tall. Careful not to get it into the tops of the new growth, because that is its detriment. It does not like the water getting in this part of the plant, because each new growth is what it will provide that particular year's flowers. It will not flower off of oak canes. It's like, as I was saying, it puts up that growth, and then in the fall, the new growths mature, and then it blooms right at the end of fall. I mean, almost immediately. October, this time of year, as you'll see in Newman's video. So, this plant is growing. The new growths are putting up the growths in the summertime, in the heat of the summer, and more or less controlled weather environment, outside even. So when it gets to be fall, the temperatures cool off, and as certain plants, this being one of them, most species, especially by foliage species, you have to bring them in even prior to maturation, because if a drop of that type of water, cold, wet, stagnant, no air movement, gets in that developing part of the plant, it will create black rot almost overnight, and it will spread to every cane overnight. So you really have to be vigilant and know what this plant needs, and you also have to know what will kill the plant. I mean, I think that those things are almost as important as what it takes to get the plant to bloom. Because Lelianceps and bowringiana, they have that same utility. You have to. I mean, I have my Memorial Fred Tompkins. You have to bring them inside prior to maturation, or you are risking the whole plant dying, and that's a guarantee. And I know I have another bowringiana. Oh, it's hanging up high, but it is just a seedling, and it is over there. But just pointing out what may not be obvious to my viewers, the similarity in two different individuals who grow plants based on their own personal preferences, which is individual. It's not like they're following the trends. And Newman certainly is not that guy, which is another commonality. So it goes beyond the plants. The plants are just sort of a something that you notice, but it gives you. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to edit that out. But he will say the same thing that I say about his bowringiana. But bowringiana and whatever we were talking about, bowringiana, as well as will always be commonalities that we share together or apart, but it's an indicator of something more binding that is yet revealed. So, if that was not being so new agey, hypothetical,